In December 1990, a secret military operation began in the quiet village of Tsarichina, Bulgaria. Official reports claimed the Bulgarian army was searching for the lost treasure of Tsar Samuel, a medieval king whose fortune had supposedly been hidden underground. But the scale of the mission quickly raised eyebrows. Troops, engineers, geophysicists, and cutting-edge equipment were deployed in large numbers. The village, once peaceful, was suddenly filled with military convoys. Locals were banned from approaching the site, which was surrounded by fences and armed guards. Something didn't add up. Why would a simple treasure hunt require such extreme secrecy? Witnesses described a surreal atmosphere. Helicopters hovered frequently, strange antennas were installed, and unidentified equipment was seen being brought underground. Soldiers were reportedly forbidden from speaking about the mission, even to family. Tension gripped the village as the military presence grew more intense by the day. Villagers started to hear odd mechanical sounds at night, coming from deep within the excavation. Some swore they saw faint lights rising from the sealed-off pit. Whatever was being uncovered wasn't just ancient gold, it was something the authorities feared. And they were determined to keep it hidden. The digging continued for 2 full years, and not a single artifact related to Tsar Samuel was shown to the public. No findings were ever announced, and no independent observers were allowed in. Instead, the site became increasingly fortified. Strange structures were reportedly discovered beneath the ground: spirals, smooth walls, and other formations that defied historical logic. Experts quietly admitted that medieval tools couldn't have created such things. But these anomalies were never acknowledged by official channels. The silence from the Bulgarian government only deepened the mystery. By 1992, the excavation was abruptly shut down. Without warning, the entire site was sealed with reinforced concrete, and every known entrance was buried. The operation ended as suddenly as it had begun, leaving the public in the dark. No documents were released. No interviews were given. It was as if the entire 2-year mission had never happened. But those who lived in Tsarichina remembered, and they kept talking. The absence of answers only made the speculation more intense. What had the military really found beneath the earth? As time passed, more strange details emerged. Some personnel reportedly suffered from psychological issues after the operation: nightmares, paranoia, and unexplained illnesses. Rumors circulated of an object or entity being unearthed, one that challenged our understanding of history. Researchers began to compare the case to the secrecy surrounding Area 51. Some even claimed that Tsarichina was Bulgaria's own version of the infamous US facility, a site of contact with something non-human. But unlike Roswell or Groom Lake, Tsarichina had no whistleblowers. Only silence and fear. More than 3 decades later, the truth remains buried, both figuratively and literally. No official has ever come forward. No physical evidence has ever surfaced. But those who remember the strange lights, the high-level secrecy, and the abrupt end to the mission know one thing: the story of Tsarichina is far from over. Whatever the military found beneath that village, it was not meant for public eyes. And perhaps it never will be. As the excavation progressed, reports of bizarre phenomena began to surface. Soldiers stationed at the site experienced vivid hallucinations, sudden emotional shifts, and a persistent sense of being watched. Some described hearing whispers underground, in languages they couldn't recognize. Others claimed to have dreams so vivid they felt real, visions of ancient beings and unfamiliar symbols. The atmosphere grew heavy and oppressive, as if something unseen was reacting to the human presence. Paranormal researchers later noted the striking consistency in these accounts. Whatever was beneath Tsarichina, it seemed to be alive in some way. Electronic malfunctions became routine. Communications equipment failed without explanation. Bizarre signal interference was reported across multiple frequencies. Compasses spun wildly and refused to stabilize. Portable computers and sensors shut down in synchronized bursts, as if reacting to a hidden field. Engineers couldn't explain the sudden equipment failures, and every technical report ended without resolution. It was as though an invisible force field surrounded the site, one that repelled modern technology. Some even describe the feeling of being pulled or pushed by unseen energy currents beneath the ground. Radiation levels in the area fluctuated mysteriously. Scientists noted pockets of high-intensity electromagnetic energy emanating from the excavation tunnel. These fields did not match any known natural pattern. Animals in the surrounding forest avoided the area, and those that strayed too close were found disoriented or dead. Geophysical sensors picked up rhythmic pulses from deep underground, signals that seemed artificially generated. Several researchers speculated about the presence of an underground device, still active after centuries or millennia. But officially, no such findings were ever acknowledged. Despite the chaos, the operation continued. Whatever the military was uncovering, they were determined to reach it, regardless of the risks. But those risks grew harder to ignore. Some soldiers refused to re-enter the tunnel. Others suffered seizures or sudden breakdowns. At least one was reportedly discharged after developing schizophrenia-like symptoms. Confidential sources suggested that medical teams were permanently stationed on-site, monitoring both physical and psychological effects. The more they dug, the stranger things became. The very fabric of reality around Tsarichina seemed to bend. Media coverage was non-existent. The Bulgarian press remained silent, either due to government pressure or fear. International attention was minimal. Most foreign outlets dismissed early rumors as folklore or Cold War leftovers. But in nearby villages, the whispers grew louder. Locals spoke of the thing in the ground and warned travelers to stay away. Folk stories and legends began to merge with military secrecy, creating a chilling narrative that defied easy explanation. The border between reality and myth began to blur. In time, only one thing became clear. The excavation at Tsarichina had awakened something or disturbed it. Whether it was a force of nature, a forgotten artifact, or something far older and more intelligent, no one could say. But it left behind scars. Not just in the earth, but in the minds of those who came near it. And the further the government tried to bury the truth, the deeper the curiosity grew. What force lies beneath the soil of Tsarichina, still pulsing after all these years? As rumors of strange activity intensified, a new layer of mystery was added to the Tsarichina excavation. Years later, it was confirmed that members of the Bulgarian Institute of Psychic Phenomena had been secretly involved. This shadowy group, previously associated with Cold War-era experiments, was known for exploring the boundaries between science and the supernatural. One of the key figures was Stefka Stefanova, a renowned medium with a controversial reputation. She was brought into the excavation under strict secrecy and reportedly spent hours in trance near the tunnel. Her presence suggested that the military was searching for more than a medieval treasure. According to Stefanova, what lay beneath Tsarichina was not of this earth. In interviews given long after the project ended, she described receiving mental images and voices from an ancient entity buried underground. She claimed the presence communicated warnings, telepathic messages urging the team to stop digging. These messages were accompanied by physical sensations, overwhelming dread, pressure in the skull, and sudden loss of orientation. Other sensitives involved in the operation reported similar effects. The patterns were too consistent to dismiss. Something intelligent was reaching out from below. The medium spoke of a structure made from unknown materials, neither stone nor metal, that emitted vibrational energy. Inside it, she claimed, was a being of light, dormant but aware. This being, she said, was not dead, but sealed. Stefanova believed the site was a kind of prison or containment chamber, not meant to be opened. Her accounts echoed ancient myths of divine entities trapped beneath the earth, punished or hidden away to protect humanity. When asked why the military would heed a psychic, she simply replied, "Because their machines couldn't explain what was happening. But I could." Skeptics were quick to discredit her claims. But unofficial transcripts from military personnel leaked years later supported parts of her story. They referred to communication anomalies, behavioral disturbances, and non-quantifiable phenomena. One memo mentioned an unidentifiable field intelligence, suggesting some form of contact beyond ordinary perception. While no hard evidence was ever released, the internal language pointed towards something extraordinary. Stefanova's testimony, once ridiculed, began to gain credibility among independent researchers, especially those who had studied similar sites around the world. The presence of parapsychologists confirmed that this was no ordinary dig. Why would the Bulgarian military, operating in total secrecy, bring in psychics and sensitives unless they believed the site demanded it? This wasn't about gold or relics. It was about something much harder to define. Some insiders suggested the operation was more of a ritual than a recovery, an attempt to unlock something hidden behind the veil of normal perception. If that were true, it would explain why everything about the project remained classified for decades. To this day, Stefka Stefanova stands by her claims. She insists that what was beneath Tsarichina was ancient, non-human, and immensely powerful. She warns that reopening the site would have catastrophic consequences, not just for Bulgaria, but for the entire world. Whether you believe her or not, her account adds a disturbing dimension to an already chilling mystery. Was the excavation an archaeological mission, or a forbidden experiment in contact? The spiral tunnel uncovered beneath Tsarichina was unlike anything seen before. Witnesses described perfectly smooth walls that curved inward, forming a geometric descent that defied traditional construction methods. There were no tool marks, no evidence of manual excavation, and no signs of historical human activity. Instead, strange symbols adorned the walls, markings that resembled no known language or script. Engineers and scientists on site reportedly admitted they had no explanation for how the structure had been formed. Some even speculated it had been created through energy or vibration rather than physical tools. Whatever it was, it clearly didn't belong to any known era or civilization. Inside the tunnel, the deeper they went, the stranger things became. Instruments began to malfunction, lights dimmed, batteries drained, and electronic equipment stopped working without reason. Soldiers complained of nausea and sudden mood swings, while researchers reported hearing low-frequency hums that seemed to originate from the stone itself. One section of the tunnel was said to emit heat without any visible source. Another appeared to bend sound, distorting voices and footsteps. These anomalies weren't random. They followed patterns as if the space was responding to their presence. Some believed they were triggering a defense mechanism. Despite months of excavation, no treasure from King Samuel was ever found. The supposed reason for the operation began to look more like a cover story than a goal. The structure's depth and complexity surpassed anything medieval, and the absence of human artifacts only deepened the mystery. There were no bones, no tools, no signs of burial. Just the tunnel, the symbols, and an overwhelming sense of something forbidden. Eventually, the team reached a point where the path ended abruptly, as if intentionally sealed from within. It was then that orders came down to halt all digging. In December 1992, after 2 years of intense work, the operation was suddenly terminated. No official explanation was given. The entire site was filled with reinforced concrete, and access was permanently restricted. Every trace of the tunnel, every clue it might have offered, was buried under tons of material. Journalists and independent researchers who attempted to investigate were turned away or warned to stay silent. Government silence only fueled further speculation. Why go to such lengths to erase something if it were truly insignificant? Many believe the abrupt end was a response to what the team discovered, or what they awakened. The structure may have been dormant, its purpose long forgotten, until the excavation disturbed it. Some researchers proposed that it was part of a global network of hidden installations, similar to theories surrounding the pyramids or underground anomalies in Antarctica. The fear wasn't just that it was ancient, but that it was still active, a system lying in wait for an unknown trigger. Perhaps something the Bulgarian military didn't fully understand. To those who were there, Tsarichina wasn't an archaeological site. It was a boundary between our world and something else. The tunnel seemed designed not for human passage, but as a seal, a lock. And when it was exposed, the decision to bury it again came not from ignorance, but from fear. What could have been so terrifying beneath that village? A relic of another world? A weapon? Or something far older than either? After the sudden halt of the operation, theorists around the world turned their attention to Tsarichina. Ufologists claimed the tunnel wasn't meant to hide treasure, but to seal away something ancient. The spiral structure, the lack of human remains, and the mysterious electromagnetic fields all pointed to a non-terrestrial origin. Some believed the Bulgarian army had uncovered advanced technology buried long before modern civilization. A relic not from our time, or even our species. The theory of ancient astronauts quickly gained traction. According to it, Earth has been visited and influenced for millennia. And Tsarichina might be one of those forgotten landing sites. Ley line theorists soon entered the discussion, claiming Tsarichina was built on an energetic node. These lines, invisible yet powerful, supposedly connect sacred sites around the globe. Stonehenge, the pyramids, Machu Picchu, each aligned to this unseen grid. Tsarichina's location, they argued, wasn't random. It was chosen by an intelligence that understood Earth's deeper energy. If that energy was reawakened by the excavation, it might explain the strange phenomena. A powerful force disturbed after centuries of rest. Perhaps the military stumbled upon something they were never meant to find. A convergence point where science, myth, and the unknown intersect. Some researchers suggested a buried capsule, a sealed container holding more than just technology. Possibly knowledge or consciousness. Not alien in the Hollywood sense, but something non-human, ancient, and intelligent. A presence that remained dormant until disturbed. The tunnel's spiral design mirrored ancient representations of dimensional gateways. Could Tsarichina have been a passage, not just underground, but to another reality? Some whispered of an artifact still transmitting data. Others feared it was a prison for something dangerous. Something that could influence minds, distort reality, or even rewrite history. Bulgarian folklore may hold fragmented echoes of this hidden truth. Ancient manuscripts mention beings of light, buried under stone and earth, sealed away by ancestral guardians. These legends were long considered allegorical, until Tsarichina. Now, they are being re-examined as potential historical clues. Were these beings real? Were they worshipped, feared, or imprisoned? If the military encountered evidence of such entities, the implications would be staggering. Religion, history, science, all would need to be redefined. Perhaps that's why silence followed the excavation. Not to protect secrets, but to protect minds from what they revealed. After 1992, witnesses reported that all records were classified or destroyed. Scientists vanished from public view, while soldiers were transferred or silenced. Civilian investigators trying to reach the site were blocked by government patrols. Some even claimed to feel sick or paranoid near the sealed entrance. It was as if the area still radiated an unknown force. A warning not to return. Or perhaps a containment field. Authorities offered no explanation, only absence. That silence spoke louder than any statement. Whatever was found, it was not forgotten. It was buried again, this time with even stronger walls. Is it possible that Tsarichina held the remnants of a lost civilization, one that predates humanity? Or could it be evidence of visitors who left long before we evolved? What if the spiral tunnel wasn't a path to treasure, but a vault to keep something locked away? Something whose release could rewrite our understanding of Earth's past? Perhaps the real danger lies not in uncovering secrets, but in learning we were never alone. And that someone, or something, has been watching, waiting beneath the surface. After the sudden end of the Tsarichina operation, Bulgarian authorities quickly erased any trace of what had been found underground. Official documents vanished, reports were classified as top secret, and those involved were sworn to secrecy. The excavation site was sealed and guarded to prevent access. Independent researchers were blocked from investigating, deepening the mystery. Local residents reported heavy military presence and unexplained activity. Government officials refused to comment, fueling suspicion. The silence suggested something extremely sensitive had been uncovered. This suppression aimed to contain not only information but also the psychological effects on those involved. Those who participated in the excavation suffered disturbing aftereffects even after the project's closure. Recurring nightmares, hallucinations, and severe mental distress resembled symptoms of exposure to intense electromagnetic fields. Soldiers and scientists experienced unexplained sensory phenomena and psychological breakdowns. Some reported fainting, anxiety, and an overwhelming sense of dread. These symptoms suggested contact with a force beyond human understanding. The psychological toll fueled theories that the site held more than archaeological remains. It was as if the discovery challenged human cognition itself. The mental scars became another layer of the Tsarichina enigma, buried along with the site. The total suppression of information made Tsarichina fertile ground for conspiracy theories. Speculation about extraterrestrial technology and ancient civilizations grew underground. Some claimed the excavation unearthed a device that could disrupt human history. Theories connected the site to global energy grids and ancient ley lines. Others believed the military feared knowledge that could destabilize governments or religion. The secrecy raised questions about who controls truth and what is hidden. These narratives suggested a global cover-up, with Tsarichina as a shadowy secret. Despite being unconfirmed, these stories match the unexplained phenomena and sudden closure. Years after the operation ended, Tsarichina still haunts researchers and truth seekers. The site is a no-go zone, guarded to prevent further investigation. Local folklore blends with conspiracy theories, reinforcing the idea something unnatural was found. The concrete sealing the tunnel symbolizes buried truths and forbidden knowledge. No official explanation has quelled curiosity or scientific inquiry. The silence invites more questions about what was hidden or suppressed. Military restrictions suggest what lies beneath still holds power. The mystery of Tsarichina casts a shadow over history and secrecy alike. The suppression hints at a struggle over knowledge itself. Tsarichina is a battleground between curiosity and forces resisting disclosure. Whether the military wanted to protect humanity or hide otherworldly evidence is unknown. This secrecy raises ethical questions about who controls knowledge. It reveals how governments manage information to avoid destabilization. Lack of transparency fuels distrust and suspicion of hidden agendas. Tsarichina suggests some truths are too dangerous to reveal. The case challenges how we understand history, science, and our place in the universe. Today, Tsarichina is remembered not only as an abandoned site but as a symbol of the unknown. It represents the tension between discovery and concealment, science and secrecy. The case inspires documentaries, books, and investigations trying to uncover the truth. Official narratives remain silent, while fascination grows with unanswered questions. This mystery pushes us to ask what lies beneath human knowledge. What was truly found in those tunnels? Why has it been locked away from the world? Tsarichina reminds us some secrets stay buried, but their shadows linger. The Tsarichina case remains one of the most unsettling examples of how military operations and secretive interests can intertwine around discoveries that challenge human understanding. Often dubbed the Bulgaria's Area 51, it is a place where something was found, but never revealed. The layers of secrecy and silence only deepen the mystery, hinting at truths that lie far beyond conventional history. For decades, the world has been left with fragments of information and countless unanswered questions, making Tsarichina a puzzle wrapped in shadows. Did the Bulgarian army uncover evidence of a civilization predating humanity as we know it? Or was the mission aimed at containing forbidden knowledge, secrets that could rewrite the course of human history? The involvement of parapsychologists, the strange phenomena reported, and the sudden, unexplained shutdown of the project all point to something far more extraordinary than an archaeological dig. What if the government's silence is a sign of fear rather than protection? Some researchers argue that Tsarichina was a focal point of energy or ancient technology, hidden underground to protect humanity from forces it was not ready to confront. Could these findings represent a knowledge so powerful it threatens established worldviews and authority structures? The idea that there might be forces or entities buried beneath the surface of our planet challenges everything we think we know about history, science, and reality itself. Such revelations would force a complete reevaluation of human origins and our place in the universe. The psychological impact on those involved in the excavation also raises unsettling questions. Reports of mental disturbances, nightmares, and inexplicable symptoms hint at a connection between the site's mysterious energies and the human mind. Was exposure to these underground phenomena damaging? Or was it a form of communication, warning, or invitation? These psychological effects add another layer to the enigma, suggesting that Tsarichina was more than a physical location. It was a threshold to something unknown. Official suppression of information, destruction of documents, and denial of access to independent investigators fuel the belief that Tsarichina is a carefully guarded secret. This pattern of concealment is common in cases involving sensitive discoveries that governments seek to control. Whether to prevent panic, hide technological breakthroughs, or suppress spiritual truths, the motivations remain speculative. Yet the persistent rumors and testimonies ensure that the mystery refuses to fade away. Ultimately, Tsarichina stands as a symbol of humanity's limits, of what we choose to uncover and what remains buried in darkness. Perhaps certain truths are concealed not by accident, but because we are simply not ready to face them. The question remains, what lies beneath Tsarichina's concrete seals? And will the world ever be prepared to confront the reality hidden beneath the soil of this remote Bulgarian village? The Tsarichina case remains shrouded in secrecy and unanswered questions, a chilling reminder of how much lies hidden beneath the surface of our history. Military silence, suppressed reports, and unexplained phenomena point to a discovery that challenges everything we believe about our past. Was it ancient technology, extraterrestrial presence, or something far beyond our understanding? The truth may be buried beneath layers of concrete and official denial. As the world continues to search for answers, Tsarichina stands as a haunting symbol of forbidden knowledge, knowledge that could forever alter humanity's understanding of itself. What secrets lie beneath that Bulgarian soil, and why are they kept hidden? Are we truly ready to face the mysteries buried beneath our feet, or are some truths meant to remain in the shadows? And you, do you believe Tsarichina holds a revelation the world is not yet prepared to accept? Could it be a gateway to a past we never imagined, or just a story lost in time and silence? If you found this mystery intriguing, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Nexus of the Unknown, and activate the notification bell to never miss a new revelation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think lies beneath Tsarichina? Your curiosity could unlock the next dark secret.